I want to tell you a story, but it doesn't have the perfect ending we're all hoping for.
Namaste. मेरा नाम रिया खातून.
Yesterday we met 13-year-old Ria and her older sister Nazmin, who've both been blind since birth.
My children, they both were doing very fine until the first or second month after their birth, but then they started losing their eyesight. It was a very sad moment for us, and I'm really very sad that they cannot see right now.
Ria was extremely timid. She was always looking down into her lap. In the 2 days that we'd been with her and her family, I hadn't seen her smile once. If she was nervous about the surgery, it didn't show. She declined the general anaesthetic that is offered to most minors, and she had a local to numb the nerves. The surgery took just 12 minutes.
I was privileged enough to see them walk back out of surgery, walk out, which is amazing for a child, and then I was able to hold their hand and take them to their mother as they, sorry, it was getting me emotional, take them to their mother for the first time after surgery. Sorry. It was just so beautiful to witness, that time when a mother can see the child after surgery and we're okay. So, yeah, it was just beautiful.
My favourite hour of the entire trip is when we get to see the patches removed the very next day. The nurses have now rolled in a trolley and they're starting to take the patches off and clean away some of the excess fluid. There's a little smile there as she starts to see her sister and her mother and father for the first time since birth. Oh.
I asked her, can you see me? Am I beautiful? And she's like, yeah.
Nazmin mentioned that she was struggling to see far distances, but her near vision had improved significantly. The nurse called us over so they could do a sight assessment. Ria stood behind a red line and was asked to read the letters on the wall, but she couldn't. The nurse moved a few meters closer and held up some fingers, but Ria couldn't distinguish between the number of fingers. The nurse moved closer and closer, and Ria became more and more agitated until she finally coiled up to her mother, visibly distressed. It was one of the hardest things I've watched. I couldn't believe it. This wasn't how I thought the day would unfold. We asked the doctor what was going on. Why couldn't she see perfectly?
What we didn't realise going in was that they were told this was going to be a difficult return to health for the girls. We didn't know that until we heard it from the doctors just now. And apparently, when the doctors took out the cataracts, they were solid. To have cataracts for 16 years, they become quite hard. There's a lot of damage done to the eye, both in its growth, but then in the taking of it out of the eye.
Well, and I guess that just shows the need even more, that these girls probably wouldn't have had the troubles that they have now if they'd had access to these surgeries years ago.
Mum and Dad had no idea. If we can get to more kids younger, then more boys and girls walk away with much clearer vision of their world, and that's got to be a good thing.
I wish I could share a perfect ending to this story. I wish I could tell you that Ria and Nazmin saw each other. I wish I could tell you that they'd be able to go home back to their friends, to their schools, that they could read books without holding them an inch from their eyes. I wish I could share a perfect ending to this story. But can you change the ending for someone else?